over 6 hours, thousands of Kenyans tracked it live. Flight KQ 203, a Kenya Airways Dreamliner gliding across the Arabian Sea. On board was not just a passenger, but the weight of a nation's grief. Inside its cabin rested the body of Raila Amollo Odinga, Kenya's most enduring political figure. At 9:28 a.m., the aircraft broke through the morning haze above Nairobi. Moments later, its wheels kissed the tarmac of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, a historic homecoming that froze an entire country in silence. Immediately upon touchdown, Kenya Airways made a symbolic gesture. KQ 203 was officially renamed KQ RAO001 in memory of the man whose initials RAO has come to symbolize resilience, opposition, and the long march to democracy. Then came the water salute. Twin fire engine releasing graceful arcs of water over the aircraft as it taxied slowly to the VIP apron. The gesture, used to honor global statesmen, marked Raila Odinga's final return home.
And what we have there is what we call the water cannon salute, which is in honor of the late Right Honorable Raila Amollo.
As the engines fell silent, the aircraft door opened. Emerging first was Winnie Odinga, Raila's youngest daughter, clutching her father's iconic hat, a symbol instantly recognizable to millions. Behind her followed Raila's close allies, faces etched with exhaustion and disbelief after the long night in Mumbai. Winnie paused briefly at the stairway, her gaze fixed on the sea of flags outside, before following the pallbearers who prepared to offload the casket draped in the national colors.
Where we'll also have the anthem again together. Well, the two anthems, the Kenyan anthem, the East African anthem, after which we'll have a prayer.
But just as the ceremony was about to begin, emotion overtook order. A section of mourners gathered near the runway surged forward, waving tree leaves and twigs, chanting freedom songs and calling out Raila's name. Security officers were caught off guard as the crowd broke through the barricade, sprinting towards the runway, desperate for one last connection with the man who had fought for them for decades. For several tense minutes, confusion reigned. Some mourners knelt, others wept uncontrollably. Airport police and military units quickly contained the breach, cordoning off the area once more. As calm returned, the military lined up in two precise rows. The flag-draped casket was lowered from the plane and placed gently on the red-carpeted platform. On the tarmac stood President William Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and Deputy President Kindiki, together with senior government officials and members of Odinga family. For the first time in years, Kenya's political divide stood side by side, united by respect of a man whose shadow had loomed over every election since 1997. The convoy prepared to leave JKIA for Lee Funeral Home, but before departure, the moment replayed in silence, a nation witnessing history in real time.
Well, this is a very sad time for us as Kenyans to have lost such a great leader like Raila Amollo Odinga. What Raila did for this country I don't even have time to tell people, because everybody knows. And you can see how the country went at standstill yesterday when they heard that Raila had died. Raila was a great person. He fought for this country. At least for democracy, what he fought for, we can see. The only thing I can do now is to appeal to the leadership that one of the things that Raila never saw as one of the things he was fighting for is corruption. If these people who are in leadership or people who are appointed in positions can make sure that they stop corruption, particularly in the departments where they are, would have made a step ahead. Because what is deterring this country is corruption. Because without corruption, we can develop like those countries we are always talking about. Number two, Raila was taking care of so many people.
Yet, the story of this morning began hours earlier in a quiet hospital in Mumbai. The night before the flight, inside a small chapel in Kokila Ben Hospital, the Kenyan delegation gathered for final prayers. The air was heavy, the mood subdued. At the center of the room, laid Raila's casket draped in Kenyan flag. Winnie Odinga sat closest, her hand resting on the polished surface. Around her were senior leaders including Musalia Mudavadi, Opiyo Wandayi, and Eddie Oketch. Political rivals set aside differences, standing shoulder to shoulder in mourning. As dawn approached, the casket was escorted through Mumbai's still streets towards the international airport. On the tarmac, the Kenyan flag shimmered under floodlights as diplomats, hospital staff, and clergy lined up for a short farewell service. And now, as the renamed KQ RAO001 rests at JKIA, Kenya stands at a crossroads between memory and legacy. The man who spent his life fighting for freedom is finally home, his body carried by the same skies he once dreamed would unite Africa. In the hush that followed the anthem, one truth lingered. Raila Odinga may have landed for the last time, but his journey with Kenya is far from over. Newsroom, Maisha TV, reader Kering Chebet.